Okay, so for a problem like this, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we have is, we look at this and we say, all right, we're given evaluations of sine of u equals -7/25 and cosine of u equals -3/5. Now, the main important thing that I always go back through is looking at this, and when I notice I have an angle of a value that's not going to produce a point on the unit circle, I know that I always want to create a triangle. So we look at this and we say -7 over -7/25, and then cosine of v equals -3/5. And actually, when I look at this, it says both u and v are in quadrant number 2. So quadrant number 2, All right. Oh, I'm sorry, yes. In quadrant 3, I was going to say, because it's impossible to write that in quadrant 2. So, yes, it says they're both in quadrant 3. Therefore, this triangle has to look like that, where here's my angle u. This is -7, and this is number 25. All right? You guys follow this? Then, if I was going to write this one on there, for the problem? Okay, yeah, you're right. Thank you. I think I was looking at the group above. Does everybody follow me so far what I've done? So I have my angle. I have two different triangles. They're both in quadrant 3. Here is, I'm sorry, that's not u. This is v. Not there. Now, I know this is a Pythagorean triple, so I can say that this value is going to be -3. Over here, I'm going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem. We'll call this x squared. OK, 25 squared is going to be 625. That's what? 24? And we know that it's going to be negative because it's obviously in the second quadrant. All right? So does everybody follow me so far with what I did? Guys, can you either move or something, or just trying to go through this problem? So you guys can see I take the square root of x squared, and that gives me plus or minus 24. But since I'm dealing with in the second quadrant, I know that it has to be negative. Does that make sense? OK? So now the next thing we need to look at is they're asking us to find cosine of u plus v. So now I've created all my triangles. They gave me cosine of v. They gave me sine of u. I used Pythagorean theorem or a Pythagorean triple to evaluate. Now I can find the sine, cosine, tangent of all these angles, all these triangles if I wanted to, right? All right. We don't need to. All we need to do for cosine of u plus v is make sure we just write it in and have the correct formula, which I just need to make sure I got cosine of u, cosine of v. That's right. So you have cosine of u minus, or times, cosine of v. And that's going to be minus, and sine of u, yep. Sine of u, sine of v. So all we're simply going to do is now we've evaluated for both of our triangles. So we're just going to plug in the value for each one. So the cosine of u is going to be -24 over 25. The cosine of v, so here's angle v, cosine of v is going to be -4 over 5. Minus the sine of u, angle u, is opposite over hypotenuse. So that's going to be -7 over 25. And then, I'm sorry, that's the sine of u, yep. And then the sine of v is going to be -3 over 5. Does everybody follow me what I did? Okay. Do you understand the cosine of u? You go to the angle that has u, because we used u to figure out this triangle. This is angle u. What's cosine? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So your adjacent side over your hypotenuse, negative 24 over 25. Then it says cosine of v. So you go to the other triangle, adjacent over hypotenuse. Got it? Okay. So I just plug those in, and now we just need to evaluate what each one of them is going to be. So I have a negative 24 times a negative 4. That's going to be a positive 96. 28, 40, 48, 96. So we have 96 over 125. Then I do negative 7 times negative 3, which is going to, oh, I'm sorry. This is a double negative. Actually, let's just go through it. Let's do minus. So negative 7 times negative 3 is going to be a positive 21 over 125. Yes? So then we just do 96 minus 71, or 96 minus 21, which is going to be 75. Cool. Because remember, we used our triangles to divide it. Huh? Yes, we're definitely going to have to reduce that. Thank you. I'm going to check it in. So we know that 25 goes in the top and the bottom, right? So it's going to be 3/5. Thank you. I was kind of getting myself carried away. 3/5, yes, you're always going to want to make sure you reduce. Yes?
So
Yes? This one? Because it asked to do cosine of u plus v.